The Czech Republic made it official on Wednesday that South Korea will be in charge of an $18 billion project to build 2 nuclear reactors in its country. South Korea's debut in the European market. Let's discuss more with Professor Yang Hee-dong this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So South Korea is the first overseas nuclear power plant project in 16 years. And it's also, like I mentioned, the very first nuclear power plant project with a European country, isn't it?
Yes, yesterday, the Czech government confirmed the contract to build 2 reactors at the Kovany power plant with the KHNP standing for Korea Hydro and Nuclear Power. I think about the 3 major meanings from this official announcement. The first one is now South Korea, as you mentioned, South Korea has made a very strong foothold in the hub of European market. And also the nuclear power plant project, because Europe has maintained a very strong hub of this market, a nuclear power plant market. And secondly, the Korean companies and Korean government has come to establish very strong reputations because they successfully moved into the European market. And the third, well, somehow we have struggled with the nuclear power plant due to our political tensions and also the terrible tsunami accident in Japan. But now this market is recovered due to heavy demand for AI and also war between Ukraine and Russia. So I think the Korean government in Korea has taken over very right moment and momentum to move into this high demanding market for electricity due to successful launching of a nuclear power plant project in Czech.
An excellent opportunity for South Korea, of course, but I do have to say it's a splendid achievement that South Korea had to overcome numerous challenges to bring home the deal. Let's talk about those challenges that we had to go through.
Yes, there were 3 major challenges until they arrived at this official confirmed this project. First one is, well, KHNP earned the preferred bidder status in last July last year.
Right.
But somehow the Westinghouse and EDF filed appeals with the Czech competition authorities, citing the patent infringement and unfair selection process. In October, Czech authority dismissed this appeal. So that was the first challenge. And second one is now Czech asked for the 60% of localization rate. And also, the Westinghouse called for their own significant proportion of all the projects with the KHNP. So at the moment, we have no idea how much proportion the KHNP promised with the Westinghouse. So somehow they end up with great deals between the KHNP and Westinghouse in last January. They resolved the conflict over IP infringement. So that was the second challenge. And third challenge came up in early this year in January, because the Department of Energy in the United States put the South Korea as lowest category of sensitive and other designated countries in the technical security issues.
Right.
Somehow the Korean government had resolved this conflict as time passes by. So those were 3 very significant the challenges.
Well, then again, why do you think the Czech government decided to go with South Korea eventually? Why not the U.S. or, your friends after all these hurdles you just mentioned? Why Korea after all?
All the time there are 2 very critical success factors for the huge scale of project: time and budget. So, well, KHNP, they put the slogan "on time within budget." So they, emphasized several times to Czech government that they will keep the due dates within the promised the budget. But this is very, very, very hard the vision, because even though the current KHNP earned their first project with the United Arab Emirates 6 years ago, but they have a struggle. They could not keep the budget and the time was delayed. But this is a very serious and significant challenge, but they promised several times that they will keep those 2 major constraints to make a huge success from this project. And that successfully persuaded Czech government.
And of course, it's an $18 billion project we're talking about. But the question is, can we expect to see long-term stable profits out of the project? Because there are voices of concerns that we may not.
Yes, well, there are a couple of reasons for this concern. The first one, as I already mentioned, 6 years ago, the KHNP made a contract for the Baraka in UAE.
Mm.
They expect about 10% of a profit rate, but as the project has been delayed and the profitability has moved down into the negative areas. So again, there are many concerns about this long-time and huge-scale project. It's very likely that we cannot keep the promise as we had planned in the beginning. And second one, there was a strong demand from Czech government for the localization rate, and also the Westinghouse, a demand for a significant proportion for this project. Those factors may make a significant impact on the profitability. But the problem is we have no idea of the details, all this, even the revenue scale or proportion rate or localization rate.
Right.
But we earned about $80 billion when we built 4 reactors in UAE. Now we earn almost similar revenues for the 2 reactors. So many people have very, the positive estimation for this project, though.
Then can we have our hopes high about clinching another nuclear power plant project? Because like my colleague Lee Soo-jin reported, the Czech Republic is considering building 2 additional reactors over in Temelin, right?
Yes, not just Czech. We have Finland, we have Poland, Bulgaria, Turkey, UK, Netherlands, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam. There are many countries who declared to build a new power plants because they cannot stand all the huge demand, huge demand due to AI, operations. And there was a very positive estimate from the directors of WNA, Sama Bilbao. He mentioned that until 2050, all the nuclear power plants need to increase their electric power generations by 3 times in 20 years or 25 years. So we can expect very positive and huge demand for electricity. And there's no other way, no alternatives, but the nuclear power plant to increase the electricity in that short period of time.
It's not just semiconductors or cars that will keep us fed. It's now a grand nuclear power project over in Czech Republic. Professor Yang, thank you as always for joining us, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.